You don't know me, but here are 5 tips that improved my quality of life. Before I start giving you all these tips, here are my credentials, and then you can choose whether you want to click off this video or continue watching. My name is Hector, I'm 23 years old, I feel healthy, I'm in the best shape of my life. I read 12 books this year, including self-improvement, fiction, classics like Dante's Inferno. I'm in a healthy romantic relationship. I'm a law student, and up until now I passed every exam. I'm like halfway done to being a lawyer, and I'm into philosophy. And if you need another unit that measures my success, then here I have this one video that has 25k views. And if that's uninteresting to you or something that you don't want to achieve, then it's okay to click off or watch my other videos maybe. Before I give you the 5 tips or techniques, here are 2 underlying things that I constantly think about in my day-to-day life and that are kind of the basis for everything that is to follow in this video. The first one is undervalue your motivation and self-control and plan for that. So I learned that the whole thing that we get taught with you're an individual and you're special and you're strong and you just have to believe the whole Hollywood bullshit that we had from 2010 and following, and all the hero movies, your typical hero movies, even now. You just have to believe and then you're gonna do it. This intrinsic power is not really that strong. I mean, there are some exceptional individuals out there, like David Goggins or whatever, who like runs 1,000 miles. Or that's not your average human who just does it to do it. So realize that you don't have much control over your motivation or whether you're gonna do something or not. And usually we just react to impulses and the world around us. So create an environment that pushes you in that direction. Even if pushing sounds like something bad or something that decreases your individuality or your power of will or your freedom. I think right now we're at a point in life, at least in some parts of the world, where we have too much freedom and are kind of overwhelmed. That's why you clicked on this video, because you wanted some advice from some 23-year-old on YouTube. And the second one is minimize and simplify. I know there are some people out there that are pretty smart or that feel like they are pretty smart, but if you plan everything in a way where even an idiot could do it, you could do it for sure, and you don't have to bring up all that mental capacity or use your mental capacities. So do everything simple and minimize it. And that leads me right to my first tip that made everything better. Just don't multitask. I feel like that a lot of things in tech especially are towards more progress and multitasking and getting a lot of shit done, and with the whole hustle culture and the thought behind like capitalism, like be better, do more, really pushes this agenda of like multitasking. And with like mobile devices, it's like listen to something, work out and plan at the same time and all that. But like, when's the last time that you went out not looking at your phone or having something in your ears, listening to something? In general, I feel like multitasking has no real value. If you just constantly do things, but like only one thing after the other, I feel like that's way more productive than doing 3 things at once, not feeling like you finish anything. And then the quality also suffers because you're so scattered. So just don't multitask if you don't have to. And that also entails not doing 2 things at once, where one is work and one is like free time, leisure activity. So try to sprinkle in like short bursts of Twitter or Instagram in between there, because then you're not really getting work done. And I feel like that's why many people kind of lose their way and lose their motivation after school, because in school you kind of have to follow the rules, and you have like PE for 1.5 hours, and then you have math for 1.5 hours, and you can't really do anything else. And in a way, this structure makes a genius, and you kind of can concentrate. My second tip would be turn off notifications. That doesn't mean that you have like to turn notifications off on your phone. I know you have one, totally, but almost any smartphone, I think every smartphone has it. You just go into the settings and go on notification. You have every single app on your phone, and you can choose whether it can contact you or send you push messages, notifications, whatever. And just turn those off. I don't need my authenticator to send me reminders. I don't need my email to send me push notifications every 5 minutes. I don't need eBay spamming me with promotion codes. And best believe it's the same for you. And you don't have to be available 24/7. I know it feels nice to be plugged in and feel like you're never missing out on anything, but that's just FOMO. And being my age and still having FOMO, not being a teenager, is kind of cringe. Doesn't seem like a cool person who has the fear of missing out. Seems like you don't have a goal yourself that you would like to focus on. So yeah, turn off notifications or put your phone into productivity mode and only get notifications from your family. Because there is no business call coming in with $1 million plan if you don't do anything with your life. There's not a message that will like improve your life so drastically, and it is very likely that there are very few problems that only you can solve. So this fake scenario where you get a message where you have to help somebody out rarely occurs, because only in some certain business contexts or life or death situations is there really a situation that only you can solve. So yeah, turn your phone into calls only, and if it's really a alarming situation, that person is gonna call you. The third one I already hinted at in the beginning of this video: read books. It's not like that books are dead because we have phones. Phones gave us a lot of problems that books didn't do. And if you actually want to learn and internalize something, reading a book usually is the better option, because you're doing kind of the same thing that you would do on a computer or your phone. Like you would go into different sources, look at Wikipedia, watch a YouTube video, all that, listen to a podcast. But in a book, somebody already did that for you in the best cases. Because a book is harder to publish, you get condensed information about one certain topic. And like reading 100 pages usually is faster than like watching a video that goes for an hour, reading 5 Wikipedia articles and listening to a podcast. Somebody already did their research, found the key findings, and is giving them to you. And also, reading can be boring, but that's kind of the point. Like yeah, reading 10 pages may be hard for you now, but then it's normal, and then you read 20 pages and then that's boring. So when a book gets boring, it's usually the point where you realize, okay, I have to take a break because that's too much information. With other points of media, you don't have that. The podcast doesn't stop when you stop listening. The YouTube algorithm doesn't stop showing you videos even though you didn't even understand the last one you watched. But with a book, it's kind of like easy. You're just bored of it, you can't take it anymore, and then you just put it aside. I think the feeling you have with boredom is a great indicator when you should stop doing something or start doing something else. So yeah, read books. You don't have to read like 20 books a year, but like reading 6, that would be a great start. I'm not saying you have to read 6. If you read 1 this year, I already did my job. And regarding these numbers and hitting targets, my 4th tip is setting a goal. Goal setting is like a whole topic about itself. Just learn about SMART goals. Go to productivity YouTubers. Just search goal setting with your, I don't know, AI that you use, or on YouTube or on podcasts, and just set any goal, because I believe a lot of people feel uneasy because they have no goal, and then they get overwhelmed with all these goals that you could have, like getting a 6-pack, getting rich, getting a girlfriend, reading more books, for example, and then they don't even want to choose and like this uneasy feeling stays, just pick any goal that is good for you in general. So don't think about you individually too much, but there are some things that are always great for a human being, like eating clean, working out, having social interactions, like actively seeking them out, not just being there and being happy that you're not a loser and by yourself. Yeah, just choose something like that. I'm going to learn how to cook. I'm going to work out twice a week, once a week. I'm going to go out 3 times a day, walk 10,000 steps. Yeah, set goals. And the 5th one kind of goes into the direction that my other videos seem to go in, a little more mystical, philosophical, but be nice to your future self. I feel like a lot of people wake up after school or when they have a midlife crisis, usually men in their 50s or 40s, and realize that kind of somebody else lived their life, or they lived a life for somebody else, because they didn't really think about that they have to inherit the present, if that makes sense. So if you don't feel like doing it now, best believe you're not gonna feel like it in 5 years or in 10 years. And some things you just kind of have to do when you're young and build habits when you're young, because when you're older it just gets harder, because you have obligations that you put on you, or in the best case you put them on yourselves, but usually society or family or somebody else puts it on you because you're too scared to make a decision. So being nice to your future self is also making decisions for your future self. And for me that helped a lot, seeing my future self as somebody totally different than myself, because then you act differently, more reserved. Kind of how people tend to be like super nice to people they don't know yet, and super reserved, and you usually think about what you're gonna say if you don't know the other person. So be nice to your future self and build habits now, build a present that you would like to inherit. And it also distracts you from kind of this feeling that you have to do something now, and then that you need a goal now, and that you need to achieve something now. If you set something in motion now that will lead your future self to the goal easier, then it's kind of nicer and easier to focus on the process itself instead of focusing on instant gratification. These are 5 tips that I came up with today. There are lots more, but I feel like these 5 build a pretty nice basis and kind of counteract the uneasy feeling that I have with a lot of people that I talk to. Because I feel like a lot of people have not enough self-worth, but these tips counteract it. These helped me. Thank you for tuning in, and now we have one more video out there that makes a positive impact and it's not brain rot.